Yo, if you want to make money with your voice, you've hit the right video. My name's Jonathan, and I've been a voiceover pro for the last 10 and a half years, but I want to help you make some dough by becoming a pro. It's not very difficult. There's all kinds of free information that I'm going to give you, but if you want to speed run this thing and jump ahead, jump the line, hit up my Calendly. It's in the description. Let's just jump right into this. How to make some money with your voice for total beginners, you total novice. What do you know about anything? All right. You know that you're having lots of sleepless nights and you're stressed and you're going to work for somebody else and it sucks. Who wants to do that? I sure didn't. And I even had a pretty good job. Pretty nice, comfy, cushy. 68 million people, man, are in the independent workforce, which is bomb. That means you don't have to go in. You don't have to sit in traffic. Aren't you tired of sitting in traffic? I know I am. Traditional workers, there's still an awful lot of them, but guys, this is changing like really quick. Check this out. There are over 1.57 billion freelancers. That's just people who work for themselves. Just you're punching your own clock. Isn't that nuts? United States has over 76 million freelancers. See, this is the way we used to do it. That looks miserable. And this is the way I do it. Don't you want to be like me? All right. So now is the time because AI, stupid Terminator cyborgs are coming for your job. And they are. But they haven't figured out yet how to sound like a normal person. And people get tired of their freaking voices. That is for sure. So you want to know, do I have a good voice? All right. So the steps to make money with your voice. Okay, obviously, have a good voice. All right. So generally speaking, a lot of us don't like the sound of our voice. I still don't like the sound of my voice. When I listen to myself back, I'm like, ugh. Now, if I'm trying and I'm doing a voiceover and I'm sounding like this, I'm like, yeah, I sound awesome. But like my normal voice, especially when I'm not thinking and get very nasally and I'm just like, and it's terribly annoying to me. But it doesn't matter. People told me for years upon meeting me, do you do radio? Do you do commercials? Do you do voiceover? I'm like, I don't even know what voiceover is. So I drug my heels on this thing forever, guys. So if you've been thinking about it for a while, I encourage you, jump in. The water is warm and there's plenty of work out there for everybody. Need to make a studio and get your gear. And you're like, how do you even start that? I'm going to show you. I got you. Just relax. All right? Relax. Make a portfolio. That sounds like a lot of work. Don't worry. I got you. Set up your portfolio on a platform. We can start with the free ones like Fiverr. Optimize your keywords. This is key. Get it? And the tips and tricks. All right. So do you have a good voice? The better question is, will someone pay you? And once they pay you one time, guys, it clicks and you get it and you're like, oh my gosh, I can make money doing this. But you got to start. You got to start somewhere first to figure it out. All right, so the 3 key things to having a good voice. To be understandable, the message is communicated clearly. Pliable, can change tone or speed to meet the moment. Unimpeded, to stay consistent in vocal requirement without physical restriction. Yeah, check mark. Check. All right. Additional traits for having a great voice. These aren't necessary, but it does help. If you've been in plays or something, you got to learn like different dialects. I had to do that. I was in Titanic, the musical. Yes, there's a musical for Titanic, which is crazy. But I was Will Ferrell? No, something. Jim Farrell. Will Ferrell. I was Jim Farrell. I had to do an Irish brogue. I was probably not the best at it. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to think about it again. You just think Conor McGregor. Gonna talk like Conor McGregor, an emotional response. All right, dramatic swings to be able to be very, very serious and then be goofy, funny, creative interpretation. This one's so key because somebody's giving you a script and it's just words on a page, right? You got to bring it to life, whether that is a sad, depressing, or exciting, loud, whatever script. You have to put your spin on it to take it and give it life. And so if you're a creative person, hopefully you are, if you got a good voice, but even if you're not, there is a place for monotone. There is a place for, reading the phone book kind of thing, right? Ways to continually improve. Voice lessons, took those. Join a choir or a band, was in both of those. Join the cast of a play or musical, was in those. Start a podcast or a YouTube channel, just like this. That's going to keep your voice in good practice, too. All right, let's see. Where are we headed next? All right, so we got to get your gear. Can't start a project without your gear. Beverly Hills Ninja? Anyone? All right, so the equipment to get. Get yourself a Mac. Just why do you have a PC? Why does anybody have a PC? I know why. Because you're a gamer. Or you're just too young to realize that Mac is the best. All right, so you may need adapters and stuff if you got something else. But I got a Mac. I roll with Mac. Get yourself a microphone. I started off with a Blue Yeti. I'm sure there's some other cheap microphones that you can get out there, but it needs to sound good. All right. What is good? Again, this is for me, this is like a minimum. But I've seen people do it with a headset mic. So you can do it. And once you start making a little bit of money, I highly recommend upgrading to a decent mic. This is the Neumann TLM 103 right here. See, my voice cracks all the time, even though I'm a pro. But guess what? I'm also a video editor, and I can just cut that right out. I won't cut it out of the video, but I cut it out of my edited performances that I give people because my voice cracks. What am I going to do about it? I don't know. Got a good voice, but maybe it's not as consistent as I'd like. So you can go on places like eBay and find a microphone. You just got to make sure you're working with a reputable person, which isn't always the easiest thing to do in the world. And then you're going to need something like a Zoom. I just found this to be the easiest for starting out. Anna was working at a church that had one, and so I could take it home. But they're like $300. And just giving you an idea of like what it looks like and stuff. You record here and you play here and left and right. And again, you might have to do a little tutorial on that. I can't do it all right here, even though I'm trying to give you as much information as possible for this whole thing. Make sure you have control of the gain and the phantom power. All right. So you have to have phantom power. Phantom power is like, this is going to power your mic. Oh, sorry. Why can't I move this? Your microphone, your condenser mic. What's cool about this one, the Blue Yeti, is that it is a USB. And so you can plug it right into your Mac. And then you have to download some software like GarageBand. I don't want to jump the shark here. I've got some more information to share. Let's see if I can get down here to it. All right, you need an XLR cable. That's going to plug in your mic to your recording device. And then you need some pantyhose and a coat hanger, or you can go buy one of these. It's called a pop filter, and this gets rid of the pluff sounds. I think it's pluff is what they call it, and it's those sounds. Yeah. So, and you can get those relatively cheap. A lot of this stuff you can get if you just want to go out and get it today. You can get it at Guitar Center. If you want to wait a few days, maybe tomorrow, who knows? eBay, maybe Amazon too, but eBay for sure. And then if you want it brand new, you can go to Sweetwater, and they're actually really awesome. Like, call them up. When I buy stuff from them, like, they'll send like a thank you card and with like little candies, like root beer candies. I'm like, are you serious? For like a cable? I'm just like, okay, that's pretty cool, man. Excuse me. So we go back to the sound dampening. So this is not soundproofing, right? So wherever you're at, I'm in a basement, but wherever you're at, you got to make sure that it's a quiet space, right? Not a safe space, quiet space. And you can't have like lots of traffic noise and air conditioning units and heaters. And I got long stories on that because I used to live in an apartment complex, and I lived right outside right the air conditioning unit was right outside my door, and I'd have to time everything when I wanted to record because that thing would just go off, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's quiet, and grab my script and everything. It's nuts. Anyway, this is sound dampening. So first you got your soundproof booth or a room or just a place away from the noise, the outside noise. This is for the noise bouncing around inside the room. So you can see it. I got Auralex back here. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And I think as soon as you start making some money, get yourself at least one sheet like this, then you can make a sweet demo with that behind your head so you look like a professional before you're a professional. You're just trying to look the part, sound the part as much as possible, obviously, but you want to look the part. You want to look like you're in a studio. I recorded in a $445 a month apartment in Stafford, Texas. All right. So I just got a couple these actually for free because look how expensive they are. I don't know if you can tell here. $729. Oh, I've got this thing on too big. $729. That's crazy. So yeah, I did not have that kind of money. So I was working at a church. They tore up some, out of the church, they tore a bunch of this stuff up. It was in storage. And I'm like, can I have some of that? And they're like, yeah, take as much as you want. And I shoved like 10 sheets of it into my car, like everywhere. So unless you work at a church, you may not be able to gank a couple of, gank? I don't know if that's the word. Get a couple of these Auralex sheets, but go buy one at least. And if, like I said, try to do as much voiceover work as you can, and then put the money back into your business, and just keep upgrading things. You need a mic stand or a boom arm. So this is what I'm rocking with right here. I've had these. I don't know how I lost it. I lost my arm in a move, and I probably should just buy another one because they're not that expensive, and it's a lot more convenient. So buy yourself a boom arm, and then get yourself some editing software. So you're going to need Adobe Premiere or any editing software, but I like Adobe Premiere because I've been working with it forever. I used to rock Final Cut Pro, and before that, Pinnacle. Heck, I go back to the days of Gem Paint. So if I'm talking to any old people out there, the old MS-DOS, I'm really dating myself here. All right, and yeah, so little pro tip here. It does cost like $29, $30 a month, but if you go to cancel, or maybe even just leave the page the first time, they will be like, are you sure you want to leave? We'll give you this for, $17 a month for the first 3 months or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Or maybe even like a month for free. So a little tip and trick for you there. Yeah, so you're going to need audio editing software, so you might as well go ahead and get the video, because then you can just use the audio portion of it and just cut it up the same way you would cut a video. And if you're looking at me thinking, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to edit? I don't know anything about it. I didn't know anything either. You just keep learning. You just keep on taking on little bits and pieces. And again, like I said earlier, you can speed run this whole thing with me, and I'll run alongside you and make sure that you're all good. You're all hooked up. All right, get yourself some headphones. These are the pair that I got actually right here. They're starting to fall apart a little bit, but these were only $100. I've had these suckers for like 10 years at least. Gosh, I don't know when I got it's been a while, and they're still working. They're still working. Take care of it. And like I said earlier, a quiet room you will need. Got to stay away from the traffic noise, the air conditioner, the heater, electricity, lights, refrigerator hums, yada, yada, yada. Guys, I've worked on the road before just because I wanted. The whole reason to do something like this, in my opinion, is for the freedom to work with who you want to travel when you want to not be stuck somewhere, basically. So this gives you a lot of freedom. And if in the beginning, what's also awesome about it is you don't have to go full-time right away by any means. You keep your job, and then you add this on, and you come home from work, and maybe you just knock out two or three voiceovers to make a few $100, and you just start there. So let's get back to business, shall we? All right. So you want to make a demo, and in your portfolio, you're going to make this demo. You're going to pick these are all not, these are hard and fast rules, or these are not. These are not hard and fast rules. This is just like, this is my general, belief in like what you should kind of do, because it's what I did and it worked. You create a portfolio, pick 6 diverse genres to showcase your vocal range. So first, you want to do something like energetic. I just wrote these out here. Let's see. Energetic. And I was just go like must-see TV. Again, I'm going to really date myself here, because I say this every time. I'm just like, tonight at 7 o'clock, Jerry Seinfeld, followed by Friends. Join us. Something excited and kind of maybe like announcery. And then maybe like, if you can do this, obviously not everybody can do this, but movie trailer in theaters now. The Walking Dead. I was trying to think like something on AMC, whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. And then like Monster Jam. Get ready this Sunday. Be there. That kind of thing. And then just very normal, I'd say like a history book, but just read something that's kind of boring, where it's just kind of like, and then they walked down the street and they said to each other, it's time to sign the Declaration of Independence. Something very simple. And then maybe like some characters. I don't even know how that character sounds. I can't even think of that character's name right now. That is so terrible. It's like Pikachu or something. Oh my gosh. The kids are going to be like, what are you talking about? You don't know. I don't even know. I've never watched SpongeBob. It's just way after my time. But I do know Pee Wee Herman if you watch my last video. I'm like, I know you are, but what am I? That's right, Francis. All right. So do some characters. If you have any celebrity voices, pick one of those. And then we've got the like an announcer before a show. It's just like, ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. Please silence your cell phones and enjoy the show. Thank you. Something like that. I don't know. So you're just kind of trying to show off your range to people, right? So you're going to pick about 7 seconds of each of these to play, one right after the next. It's a demo, so it's going to be pretty quick. It's going to be less than a minute. And let's see. You want to make sure there's no peaking. So you want to make sure that your level does not go, where is this? Your level does not go up here, because if it does, it's going to sound like, that's okay. We can hear you. I'm right here. That's Spaceballs. Come on, Spaceballs. That's fine. We're right here. The bleeps, the creeps, and the bleeps. My nose is just like itching. Gosh. Should I leave that in? I've like got something up there and I'm like, good. I don't want to cut anything out. I'm trying to just do like one of these like straight through and try to act like maybe not act like a normal person, but act more like myself, instead of trying to be like, and then you want to read this and make sure the level is good. No peeking. Get it? All right. So you can get a better idea of like who you're working with here. Because we're going to be working together. We're going to be best friends forever and ever. All right. Compression filter, optional. Yeah. No need for post-production. Can you read this? No need for post-production. Oh, when I'm saying post-production, I mean like you don't have to edit, like you don't have to add a bunch of effects on there. You want just your dry voice. People who know what good is, they'll know that, like, that sounds great. I do think it's cool, though, to add music and maybe sound effects, not to your voice, but like to the whole thing, so somebody could hear like what you sound like in a commercial. And as you start doing work for other people, you're going to have samples. But in the beginning, you got to create your own samples. We'll get into that in a moment. Right? All right. Create a SoundCloud link, choose one theme, and read several examples back to back. Create a demo video and upload to Vimeo or YouTube. So you're just creating this little universe of you for people to go to. So get on some of these platforms. I think these are all free. Definitely Fiverr is, Upwork is. Start profiles on there. Don't worry about the haters. Who cares? There's money to be made on there. There's money all over the place. And then some of these are pay for play. I just got on Voice 123 a few months back. It paid for itself within the first week. So I'd recommend that one. I haven't been on the other ones. Like I said, I'm Upwork, I'm Fiverr. But, you know, you get this thing rocking and rolling. You can just like post yourself all over the place, right? If you want to stay busy. All right, you can see like on the platform Fiverr, I've made at least $245,000. Made a little bit more since I made this Miro board. But who's counting, right? This is just to give you some proof. You know, you can make money on these sites. Ain't no lie. All right, creating your video demo reel. You're going to use your phone or camera. You're going to shoot horizontal. Make sure you got great lighting. Look at all this lighting. Dude, I got a light up here. I got lights back here. I got a light right here. I got a gigantic light right there. It's like movie magic. It's so crazy how, you know, real life is not like that. But if you watch something on YouTube and it doesn't look like that, you turn it off, generally speaking. You know, if it looks dank and whatever, because everybody is kind of doing the same thing, trying to look good, sound good. If you got crap audio, like that's another thing. People can deal with bad video, but they cannot deal with bad audio. So I hope this audio turns out great. Obviously, I can't hear it because I don't have on my headphones so that I can look cool, right? With my great hair, right? Okay, so get yourself a camera. You can use your phone if you want to, and maybe a little tripod. Because you're going to have to film your video demo reel, introducing yourself and saying, hey, this is what I charge, and check out my demo. Take a listen to my demo. Get yourself a little teleprompter, unless you're really good at memorization. Again, it's not that expensive, and then it fits over your camera, and then you can like read. And I didn't want to set up mine to do this today, so that's why you're getting this big off the cuff. You know, I'm just talking to you like a normal human being. You know, that's what it's about. Introduction. Like I just said, this is introducing yourself, your rates, and your reel. Look how awesome this looks. Does this not look? I mean, this is a professional right here. When I made this video, I had rats running around in my ceiling. Oh, I was going to try to draw a rat. I had rats in my, that is definitely not going to work. I had rats in my ceiling. It's so crazy. There you go. And I had ants crawling on my bed. And I put this Oralex up in a like 3-foot space between my bathroom and my studio apartment. And that's like the corner. This is the door. This is the door to the studio or to the bathroom. And just shut that up. And you can see like even like there's some space right here and stuff. Whoop, let's just fill that in. I might have even filled it in post on something else. And then brought some lighting like this and just lit it all up. These are all things, you know, are they totally necessary for you to be a successful voiceover artist? I don't know. But when I do something, I want to put my best foot forward. I want it to be like, look at how awesome and sound awesome and everything. And then it's just like, boom, here comes some money. Boom, here comes some money. All right. Next slide. I have to pick my nose again, guys. Just turn away. Oh, my gosh. And then I'm going to say profile that shows professionalism like this video, right? So gig title with keywords. Guys, this changed everything for me. So I don't know why my reel wasn't getting traction, but I changed my gig title, and it was like within days. It was kind of crazy. And forgive the water sounds. Somebody's going to the potty. I guess. Just making an assumption here. Fill in all available categories. Offerings. So the category, your skills. The Frequently asked questions. These are things that I didn't do for the longest time because I'm like thinking, why do I, like I'll just answer the questions or whatever. Don't skip any steps like that because Fiverr wants to see that you filled everything out. So they go, oh, this is a serious person, and it probably meets some kind of algorithmic, litmus test. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We want to make money, so who cares? Oh, it's kind of cool that right now my face is like in the little in the little box. It's kind of funny. In fact, this is what my demo sounds like here. Let's with the stupid water going the whole time. I don't want to stop though. It's like, hi, I'm Jonathan with an exclusive offer to Fiverr.com. If you're in the market, I don't know, I can't even remember what I said. If you're in the market for a great voiceover, something like that, I don't know. You're in the right spot. I will record up to 75 words starting at only $5. I look forward to working with you. Now have a listen to some of my work. Smile. And I started at 5, and I've upped it to 25 for the minimum order. But we'll get more into that in just a minute. All right. I hope you've been able to hear me okay. I did move my mic closer for that moment there. And now we might have water running the whole rest of the time. And either it's going to become incredibly annoying or it's going to be, you know what? I am going to pause this video here because that water is driving me nuts. Can't fucking tell anything. I don't know if we're back. I don't know what's. All right, the water stopped. Let's try to get through the rest of this as quick as possible. I got to go to the bathroom. It's like, should I be saying all this? Come on, you want the best information possible. I got lots of videos on this channel. You can check it out. But anyway, you got to make your own examples. Certifications, if you have any, make one up or something because you got to fill it in. Filters, this is what I am, and then you want to have a couple of different prices. We'll get over that. We'll talk more about that. Set up your prices, packages, extras, payment method, and connect your bank, your PayPal account. All right, visibility. So this one, you just want to make sure, and of course you can't even read this, so it's not only not vague, but it's because I crossed off like what I actually had on there, which is I guess I will bass voice anything. Anyway, I was just trying to show like a crappy title. Like obviously don't use something that's boring and crappy and vague. You want to be very specific and niche it down. So I have a kind of big bass voice. Maybe not a big bass voice, but I have an epic. Epic has been one of the terms that people would say. Epic voice. Now playing in theaters everywhere. All right. And that's going to make a huge difference for your gig. So it's going to make you stand out. So, and you can mess around with that. It's not like you have to like nail it down right now and be like, oh, this is the one, this is the one and only title. You got to mess around with it. Just like I mess around sometimes with the titles for the video that you're watching. And some of them work and some of them don't. And some of them, the video might be crap and it doesn't matter what title. So again, we're trying to make the content as good as possible. And then, hopefully the title, pops it out. I'm talking about your voiceover. But anyway, there's an about this gig. This is just basically telling you, more about like my gig, what I offer. And in the beginning, you don't know what to offer because you've never done this before, right? So what do? You cheat. You go to other people's profiles. You take a look at what they're doing. I literally copy and pasted. I don't know if I did copy and pasted this, but I've copy and pasted my profile in the past. And now we got the water again. And I'm not stopping this time. So I've already said keep the water off, but now it's back on. What are you going to do? We got to roll through this. There's the SoundCloud. This is all straight from Fiverr, SoundCloud and Vimeo. I was able to do a couple really awesome videos. Ask people too, when you do a project for them, tell them to send you the final result because sometimes you'll do a voiceover and you have even no idea what it's for. I've done voiceovers where it's literally like announcing like an arena full of people, and it's like all these gamers are coming out, and I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. ninjas in pajamas. And like I'm hearing my voice like, echo in this amphitheater, or like the Twin Towers in Dubai, like if you do a tour and a guided tour, it's like my voice in your ears. It's so freaking crazy. So always, don't be shy to ask them like, hey, can you send me this after you complete it? So what do you offer? Again, I didn't know what to offer. Like I just didn't even know what type of work, how much work was out there. So again, just copy and paste off of somebody else's profile. The big old copy. All right. So have a couple of different packages. These are my video packages, but you get the idea. You have like $100 package, $225, $450. You can make these prices anything you want. That's the cool thing. This is like your business. So at least on Fiverr, they have like the they have the bazaar, and then you can set up your little stand in the bazaar, and you just like pay the fee, except in Fiverr's case, you don't have to pay, except you do have to pay once you get paid. So Fiverr does take 20%. Yes, that does suck, but that you don't have to go looking for clients. They're coming to you. That's a whole lot of headache that you don't have to worry about. You just have to create an awesome profile that people will click on and actually hear the wares that you want to espouse to them. I don't know if that's the right word. Anyway, extras. These are huge too, because this is kind of, in some ways, this is like free money. Because, honestly, do you care about commercial rights and full broadcast rights? I don't know. It's not something that I'm not trying to think in my head. Well, if they use this for a commercial, they might make tens of thousands, hundreds of millions of dollars, and I won't ever get paid again. I'm not even really thinking like that. But it's set here so that you can. I've made mine $25 for commercial rights. Means they're going to use your voice, my voice, to profit. Okay, this isn't just for their toddlers, graduation. This is for profit. And on the whole, I believe that most of the people who come onto a site like Fiverr are honest people. They are trying to. They're not trying to rip anybody off or like, hey, I got your voice and I don't have to pay you. In a lot of cases, they want to pay you extra, to be honest, and they can do that also through tips. They can tip, and they're asked to tip. After they complete the order, would you like to tip, your vocal artist, and they're just like, sure, here you go. That's why you always want to be super kind and nice and do extras for them, even if they don't pay for these kind of things. Like if they don't create the order with commercial rights and full broadcast rights and they need them, I might just because it doesn't cost me anything. I just literally check a box and it's like, wow, free value. And then you might get a tip out of it. But these are all set on the site so that when they are putting together their order, they might go, oh, well, we probably need the commercial rights and we probably need the broadcast rights. And we might need a couple revisions, and we're going to need this edited. And this obviously you can make these prices anything you want to, but like I made these just because a lot of times if I don't have an order in, I might be able to deliver in less than 3 hours anyway, but they might be willing to pay. And this might double the price of your order, for $40. So you could find potentially a $5 or $25 voiceover could end up being like $150, $250 because they're adding all these extras on there. And you're literally recording a couple of lines. I have recorded a couple of lines before, and you make $300, $400, $500 with a couple of lines. It is nutto. And it just makes you go like, why am I working like a normal job anymore? But again, you can't do this overnight. Maybe you can. It just depends. But you start slow and then you pick up momentum. And then once you start making more at this than your current job, then you can decide if you want to keep doing the 925. Let's move on. Moving on. All right. So you want to create a bunch of different gigs. I think because it's, at least on Fiverr, it's better to start with a $5 gig because the name of the game at the beginning is just getting a lot of work. So you want to just be up there almost working for free, just trying to get work, that makes you a better voiceover artist, get your feet wet in working with clients, delivering on time, building the algorithm up to look at you and go, wow, this person's doing a great job. We want to boost them up because they put you on the back pages when you first start. So you feel like no one's ever going to see you. But if you do consistent work and you do good quality work, Fiverr's going to notice and they're going to boost you up. So, but I also recommend making a secondary profile and doing something more like $100. That way you don't get filtered out, because there's a lot of companies and clients that don't even want to look at the cheaper gigs. They want people who are very expensive because they think expensive means better, right? Don't we all think that a lot of times? So they could filter you out. So I realized I was being filtered out. So I had a real cheap gig and a real expensive gig, and it's the same gig. But again, some people just want to pay more. You know those people. They shop at Whole Foods. Or where's the other place? There's that place in LA that everybody talks about, like Igatu, or I forget what it's called. Ibuka. Oh man, it's just, I could hear some interference on the headphones with my audio. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. Good to see you. All right. We got the $25 gig, and then I got like a voiceover gig too. This is actually my voiceover gig, or my spokesperson gig. These are the voiceover gigs. I'm a vetted pro, bro. Vetted pro, yo. Fro-yo. All right. The $5 gig, you get more value with the $100 gig. It's the same gig. You just make more money. It's pretty awesome. When you get that first, I remember my first, it was actually $95. But I remember that first $95 gig, you know, when you're working for $15 an hour, you're like, oh my gosh, I could make like a day's pay right here. This is incredible. And this guy, it was just a business card, but it's his like a vocal business card. So it was like a tagline, his business card. It's just one line. And I read it a bunch of times, and he still didn't like it. And then he wondered if I could get on the phone with him. And I'm like, absolutely. And I was just like, I went in my studio, you know, my closet basically, and put it together with him, walking me through it. And I mean, we went through it a lot of times. I think I spent like an hour with him at the time. Now I probably wouldn't do that, but at the time I'm like, I don't care. $95 an hour, I'll take it. You know, any day of the week. If I had to work 2 hours, I mean, that's like $50 an hour. So if you're only making $15 an hour, you know, that's good money. So you got to get the pricing that reaches all buyers, just like I said. All right. Now this is an optimized checklist. It's a lot here. The Foundation Trust, a real photo, 100% complete profile, a clear about me. This is just kind of going over everything. That you look real, active, and focused. The gig, a non-generic title, a clear niche, an outcome, not vague, not weird. The primary keywords appear in title, the first two lines of your description, the about me section, naturally. Once. Don't be putting it in over and over. The correct category, most specific subcategory, all 5 search tags filled with buyer language. We'll talk more about buyer language if you want to work together. Reviews. This is the engine. Tight scope, no surprises, fast delivery, over deliver, clear, optimized for easy 5 stars. 5 stars is a big one. I think we're going to go into that in just a second. Visual signals, the gig upload, one clean main image, shows outcome, not tools. Seller behavior, log in daily. That one's huge. So make sure you get the phone app and that you're on all as much as you possibly can be, not only to get back in touch with potential clients, but also so that Fiverr sees that you're active on your account, especially in the beginning. Fast replies, get back to people. You'll get a message, a notification, even if you can't write a big long message, said, hey, just got your message. I'll be in touch. You know, something real quick. Never let your messages expire in small weekly gig edits. Okay, avoid generic titles, keyword stuffing, broad gigs, slow delivery, scaling price before review philosophy. Fiverr doesn't promote talent. It promotes clarity, consistency, and 5-star outcomes. If you want the next step, I can tighten this into a 30-second spoken outro, rewrite it in influencer cadence, or help you structure this as a repeatable segment in every Fiverr video. You're building something smart here. This is exactly the right emphasis. So as you can see, that is your little checklist. And okay, yeah, here we go. 5-star reviews. So this is huge. As soon as you want to rack up as many of these as possible, obviously. Even ask for them. Ask for a 5-star review, because people sometimes think like they're still giving you a good review and it's 4 stars. It's just like, no. Especially in the beginning, you want to see consistently great work and reviews coming through. So again, you might have to ask for a review, because some people they click on the buttons and they just want to get done. So ask for it, because those are kind of literally like your little brownie points that the algorithm's going to see, and even visual, people's eyes who work at Fiverr are going to see. And that's going to help you boost you up so that more people see you. So you go from those back pages to the front pages and become top rated. Respond fast, over deliver, set up your notifications. We already talked about that. Great communication. Be a normal person. What's so cool is this is your business. So you don't have to, you're not doing this for anybody else. You're doing this for you. And so why would you want to even try to sound anything like anybody else? Be yourself. Be authentic. Just talk like a normal human being. That's what people like. They're just like, and you can hear that in your voiceovers too. And so there's many ways to scale and grow. To raise your prices, obviously, is one. Like I said, start off with 2 gigs, but as soon as you can, as soon as you start getting enough, flow from the $5 gigs, raise that one up, because you want your average price to be higher. And if you keep that $5 gig and the $100 gig, your average price is not going to raise. And so you need that higher average price to even have a shot at getting top rated. If your average is too low, you'll never get that. So it took me a long time to figure that one out too. Anyway, we talked about the extras. The repeat business is absolutely huge on here. If you do a great job in a timely manner for a client, they will come back to you over and over and over again, because who wants to have to figure it out and start over with somebody new? Most people just don't want to do that. They don't even want to do this to begin with. So they got to find somebody. They find you. They're like, they'll probably suck because it's Fiverr. And then they find you and they're like, whoa, this person's like really good. And they show up on time and they do this and that. And they do extras for me and they do extra revisions and they listen to what I'm saying and, on and on. So just be like amazing. That's not too much to ask, right? Just be amazing, and then people will treat you as such, I have found. And then there's Fiverr Go and Seller Plus. This is like using AI to book for you and stuff, or to respond to your clients. And then the Seller Plus program, once you start making a little bit of money and you want to amp it up a little bit, you can go big league. What is this all about? This is about living the dream, bro. Or there could be females watching this too. Actually, I take that back. I have had females commenting on here before, and I apologize. Females are voiceover artists too. No, seriously, lots of work for the gals and the guys. So lots of work. No discrimination here. And while I'm at it, no racial discrimination, because there's a lot of gigs that come in for me, and I'll start reading the whole thing, and it's literally asking at the top for AAVE. I think it's AAVE. It's like African American voice. I don't even know what the E means, but I see that and I'm like, dang it. Like, I was all ready to read this, then I'm just like, I can try to fake it, but that's probably not the best route to go. Plus, it's not believable. I'm like the whitest guy in the world. But anyway, sorry. That's terrible. Clear your voice. Anchorman. Scotch, watch it go down. Down into my belly. Platypus. Anyway, living the dream. Living the dream, guys. That's what it's about. Make some money, and then you're not tied to a desk anymore. And again, you can still keep your job if you want to, but this is just a great way to make some remote money from home. This could just be like a little thing where you just make a couple $100 at the end of the day, and you come home from a hard day's work, and then you just double up your income, maybe working an hour, maybe a lot less, maybe just a few minutes. You see your gig, you plop on the screen, you press record, and then you just like read it through a couple of times. And I don't even edit anything anymore. In the beginning, I think you should probably. And I do get asked from time to time, do you edit? And I'm like, oh yeah, I do, but I do charge for it now. They're like, nobody else charges. I'm like, well, this is how I keep my prices so cheap, because I can just read to you and then send it, and then if you want it edited, I can edit it for you too. And if they complain enough, I'll just freaking edit it. Depends on how long it is, honestly. So anyway, all being said, listen, if you want to speed run this whole thing and work with me, I have left my Calendly, I hate that word, Calendly link in the description. You hit that, it just sets up a call with me, and we'll just talk. We'll just shoot the We'll just shoot the and we'll see what's up. So anyway, if you made it through this whole video, congrats to you. Watch some other videos. What if I do one of these? You should check out this video right here. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it, but like, you should check out this video right here. See it right here? You should click on that, because then, oh my gosh, there's so much more great information. Until next time, guys. Peace. Peace.